High school football is special all across the state of Louisiana, but nothing compares to our area. It's time for This Week in River Parish Football.
And good evening, everyone, from the Sports Pub and Grill right off Airline Highway in Ormond. Welcome to This Week in River Parish Football. I'm Eric Ritchie, and we are pleased to be joined by Destrehan head coach Stephen Robicheaux. Coach, welcome to the program, and what an eventful year one in the Take-Two era at Destrehan for Coach Robicheaux.
You know, it really was. You know, we're really excited about the possibility of things that's going on at Destrehan right now. You know, if you're not measuring it by wins and losses, obviously, I think the program's in a better place now, and we're really excited about that. So I think good times are ahead, and we're really excited about that.
Well, over the next 30 minutes, Coach Robicheaux will be up here. We'll talk Destrehan football. Many of his assistant coaches are in the audience today here at the Sports Pub. We'll talk to Frank Catalano, of course, the owner here at the Sports Pub, talk a little bit about his place and why you should come down and experience the Sports Pub and Grill in Destrehan. George Becknell also on deck. He'll be joining us on set to talk about this week's playoff games. But first, Coach, let's talk more Destrehan football. I'm going to take you all the way back to the Jamboree when the electricity was really in the air. I know you were hugging the assistants. I felt it. I think the crowd felt it after a Lou Donovan Wells 60-yard touchdown run. We all felt it, but did you feel it, the electricity, that first night back at the old Destrehan Wildcat Stadium?
You know, definitely. You know, being in Wildcat Stadium is the premier place. You know, I told this to a number of people that I wouldn't have taken any other job. You know, I'm just real excited about Destrehan football. It's in my blood. It's the only one I know. The only job that I would have come back for is Destrehan, and just very fortunate to be back here. I tell you, the way things worked out, just really excited to be back, and hopefully we can get this thing turned around.
Certainly expect this Destrehan Wildcat team to be in the postseason a year from now. But right now it's time to take a look back at last week's highlights by district. Playoff openers around the River Parish. 6 of our 8 teams made the playoffs. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights. A wild one in the dog yard in the playoff opener. Undefeated, untied Lutcher, the number 3 seed, hosting the number 30 seed, St. Martinville. But no gimmies on this night. Already trailing 14-zip, Lutcher began the comeback. First, a touchdown pass from Rustin III to Spencer Roussel, and the Dogs were on the board. The Lutcher assistant principal likes that one. Yeah, that's Myra Roussel. That's Spencer's mother. Nice picture. Not sure if they're related to Blake, but they're going to like this one too. Turnover city for both teams on this night. Here it's Blake Roussel coming up with the fumble recovery. Lutcher back in business. After both teams turned it over again, the Bulldogs would capitalize. Again, it's Mathern. This time the Turian Shorty. Screen pass, 12 yards, goes to the house. They would go for 2. Mathern, he's on the keeper. You can count it. Lutcher's up 15-14. Forget the popcorn. Rodney says, you guys are going to need some burgers for the second half. Second half, more turnovers. Mathern, it's a blitz. He gets crushed. Ball goes up in the air right to the hands of St. Martinville defensive tackle Tevin Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's going to take it down the field. There he goes. Unbelievably, on a night like this, the Tigers would turn it right back over. After St. Martinville scored to take a 22-15 lead, Lutcher answered again. It was Shorty, this time on the ground, and we're all tied at 22. After, get this, another turnover, gave the ball back to Lutcher with under 4 minutes in the game, and the Dogs retook the lead. Dejon Payne from 25 yards out, and Lutcher led 29-22. Closing minute now, but St. Martinville's not done. Jemiah Nelson's going to air it out for Paydirt. Quentin Mitchell, young man's going to make a play. It's a 37-yard touchdown. They go for the 2-point conversion. Jamel Leday right up the gut. That's your 2-point conversion. And suddenly, St. Martinville led by 1. The Bulldogs would drive, though. They get into field goal range with a couple of passes. Spencer Roussel, he drilled a 26-yard field goal, but St. Martinville was offsides. 5 yards up, hash mark still the same. Crazy angle, Roussel misses. And that's the way it would end. 30-29, Lutcher upset in round 1. Evan Palas from RiverParishFootball.com with Tim Detillier after the heartbreaking loss at the Dog Yard.
All right, Coach, tough loss. Anything you would like to say about your team and their performance tonight?
No, I'm proud of my football team. It's only one of 7 teams that finished the regular season undefeated. Only one of 4 teams that was undefeated, untied. And, you know, nobody can take that away from us. We're the district champs. It's just we had higher goals. You know, here in Lutcher, we want to play in December, and that's always the goal. And we achieved every goal on the sign, but that last one, and so we're gonna be a little disappointed about that. But once again, I want to give St. Martinville credit because they played to win, and you know, it's a shame anybody had to lose this game.
Gave it all, you know, and I just wish my team the best of luck in the future, and we'll always be there for each other no matter what. We kind of stopped ourselves on offense, and our defense held up as long as they possibly could, but I put that loss on my shoulders. I had a fumble and an interception, and I'll take that. I'll take the loss.
We started off slow, but by the time we progressed and stuff, it was just too late. We just couldn't stop them, and they threw a ball up and made a play.
Next stop, Hahnville on the road in the North Shore taking on St. Paul's. 5 straight wins for the Tigers heading into the postseason. The home team would strike first. Ryan Okrepke to Brian Alizone. That's a 12-yard touchdown. St. Paul's led 7-0. Lou Valden, he's been there before. This season's been nothing but an uphill climb, and his players were once again up to the task. East of Melanson, what a game. Over 300 yards passing. Here he connects with Kaylon Carter, who's going to burn down the right sideline. 52 yards, and Hahnville scores the touchdown. It was 14-9 at the half. St. Paul's, they're going to just get right back in it. Another short touchdown run. They're leading 21-9 third quarter. But here comes Hahnville. Craig Ford, one of the best kickers, if not the best kicker in all of River Parish football. The field goal makes it a 21-12 game late third quarter. After a touchdown pass to Melanson to Ricky Preston made it 21-18, here's Sergio Medina, your game-winning touchdown from 2 yards out. With 4 minutes left, that would seal it. Medina ended with 124 on the ground, Melanson 324 in the air. Hahnville, the magic ride continues, beating St. Paul's 25-21.
I don't know, I wish we'd start off good. You know, I mean, you know, we kind of started off slow. We made some mistakes on defense, gave up 2 cheap ones, and then we kind of settled down and started playing football, you know. Hey, St. Paul's did a great job stopping our run. You know, we had a hard time running the ball inside, and Easton came through like a champ, threw the ball very, very well. We had good protection.
Let's head back to the River Parish where West St. John, the number 6 seed in 1A, they had a home game with Opelousas Catholic. Gerald Piper selling back-to-back district title t-shirts. They might need a back-to-back going to the dome t-shirt after this one. First play from scrimmage. That's Jeremy Jackson, 36 yards out. A 2-point conversion later, the Rams led 8-0. Later, JJ again, this time from 43 yards out. Another tremendous game by Jackson, and it was all Rams on this night. Quarterback Austin Howard, little 6-yard touchdown run, making it 34-0. But in the air, Howard was near perfect. 10 of 12, 186 yards, a couple of touchdown passes. This one going to Keith Miller, and with 50 seconds left in the half, West St. John led 40-0. They go on to cruise to victory in round 1, 53-13, and afterwards, RiverParishFootball.com senior writer George Becknell, he worked the interviews.
We came up into the game knowing that we had a point to prove, you know?
Which was?
It was to win, and so everybody else in the state that we deserve the state title.
Well, what does it feel like to win this one? It looks like it's probably going to be a rematch with White Castle.
Yeah. I know they're going to be coming in, you know, ready to play, and we're going to have to show them that we're ready to play too.
This is what you want. This is the playoffs, you know, and then especially when you're playing at home, you know, you want to really make it difficult for teams.
3 scores to pass along as well. East St. John falling behind 30-6 at Airline. A valiant effort, a nice comeback, but the season ends for the Wildcats, losing 30-20. Leonard Davis, 212 yards passing, 95 yards rushing. Riverside all over the 8 seed, beating Homer 56-8. Deuce Wallace, 4 touchdown passes, 3 of those to Von Julian. Jonquil Sanders had 4 touchdowns as well. Riverside advances. and so does St. Charles. Despite the fact that the Comets trailed 26-7, Frank Monica's squad battled back. Austin Weber rushed for 72, a team high, threw for 108, accounted for 3 touchdowns, a big game for Chad McNeil, and just like that, St. Charles beats Westlake 27-26.
At myhealthinsurancelady.com, we offer online quotes for Blue Cross, Humana, and Coventry, just to name a few.
That's My Health Insurance Lady.
We offer you expert advice on choosing a plan that's right for you and your family.
That's My Health Insurance Lady.
So go to myhealthinsurancelady.com for your health insurance needs.
That's My Health Insurance Lady.
myhealthinsurancelady.com.
It's a whole lot better for plan service than it is for demand service.
That's why at Cajun Comfort Electrical Air Conditioning and Heating, we've developed a unique umbrella for our customers known simply as
Comfort Club.
For AC units, it's the
ESA.
Energy Savings Agreement.
You get 2 cleanings a year. Also with that, you get a 15% discount on any repairs you may need, and you get priority service, which to me is the most important thing.
Comfort Club.
Which also includes
EPP.
Electrical Protection Plan.
We go through your panel and check all your breakers, check everything, make sure everything looks good. That way you don't have to worry about any kind of electrical fire in your home.
Comfort Club.
And for your generators,
GMP.
Generator Maintenance Program.
We go through, we change the oil, we change filters. When a storm comes, your generator's up and ready to kick on for you.
We're what satisfaction is supposed to feel like, and we guarantee that satisfaction 100%.
Now's the time to call Cajun Comfort Electrical Air Conditioning and Heating and just ask for
Comfort Club.
Corey Cora. And safety number 17, James Robinson. And safety number 7.
Welcome back to RiverParishFootball.com. This week in River Parish Football, I'm Eric Ritchie. Yeah, you can clap, it's all right. We got Destrehan head football coach Stephen Robicheaux. We're at the Sports Pub and Grill. You know, they got the daily lunch specials. They got the 10 TVs all around. It's a great place to watch all the games, and I encourage you to do just that. Just heard from Coach Robicheaux, one of those pregame speeches. I know, Coach, you talked about, you know, really the culture changing, the attitude changing. How do you get that done? That's easier said than done, isn't it?
Well, there's no doubt that these kids want success, you know, and I thought that we were fortunate to have success early when I was at Destrehan the first time, and that's all I know, and that's what we try to tell our kids. You know, we just need to continue doing the little things. I'm a firm believer in doing things right, doing the little things, and that winning takes care of itself. So we're going to go back doing the little things. We're going to go back to shaving before games. We're going to make sure you don't have earrings in the field house. Just the little things that separates Destrehan from other programs, and we think that takes you a long way. And we believe that if you're a disciplined program with the athletes that we have coming through Destrehan High School, we should be successful.
Emphatically put by Stephen Robicheaux. It deserves a high five, really. But you know what? Let's not do the high five. I don't want to leave you hanging. But what I got is 5 hypothetical 5 questions. It's a hypothetical 5 instead of a high 5.
I think I'd rather do the high 5, but let's go. We'll try.
Here we go.
All right.
5 what-if questions for Stephen Robicheaux. Question number 1. What if Stephen Robicheaux, the running back at St. Charles Catholic High School, taking it back to your playing days, was playing for you right now? What would Stephen Robicheaux, the coach, tell Stephen Robicheaux, the player?
First of all, that's about 200 pounds ago, number one. But
I'm not far behind you, Coach. It's all right.
But, you know, my thing is we're going to tell our athletes, and the same thing I would tell myself back then, is be the best athlete you can be on, off the field, whatever you do. Make sure that it's life lessons. Make sure you're learning something every day. It's not all about football, Eric, and we really believe that at Destrehan High School. My thing is go out, do what you're supposed to do. Every time you're doing something, do it 110% and everything work out. Be a good person. Good things happen to good people. Continue doing the thing. And the thing that we talked about all this year was stay the course. Let's stay the course and continue making sure we're doing things that are right for the program, and winning will take care of itself.
Hypothetical question number 2 with Stephen Robicheaux. What if you had to pick the best thing besides watching your daughter cheer at St. Charles? What was the best thing about being away from coaching, or was there?
Probably the best thing was coming here after the St. Charles games and having that good food here. I mean, that was, you know, I would come here after, and these guys were all upset and all, and I was like, you know, I was enjoying a meal.
Hypothetical question number 3. What if in those back-to-back state championship season where you were undefeated in 07, undefeated in 08, I want one defining moment, a play a game, a moment. Did something stand out when you think back of those two back-to-back state championships? Was there a defining moment, and if so, what was it?
I think the defining moment was we were playing Higgins in 2008. We're down 18-0 in the rain. We go in at halftime and we just challenge our kids, you know, and the kids come back and they, you know, they respond, and that took us on and kind of, you know, let us allow us to go on to the win the state championship. I thought our kids that after that night was really, that was something special. You know, 2007 we were supposed to win the state championship. I could have coached that team. You could have coached that team. Anybody in the sports pub could have coached that team. I mean, we were ridiculous on offense. 2008 was a little bit more special. You know, we had a good football team. There's no doubt. But those kids knew how to win, and that showed it at halftime in that Higgins game. There's no doubt.
Hypothetical question number 4. We're doing a hypothetical 5 with Stephen Robicheaux. What if you had to pick the best thing about returning to coaching at Destrehan? What would that be?
I just love the kids, you know, and that's what people don't understand. And my wife and I talked about this the other night. She goes, I know you're down. I know you didn't make the playoffs for the first time. I know you bummed out, whatever. She says, but remember what your goal was. Remember that you wanted to be back. Remember you enjoyed your time at central office, but it was just those 4 walls every day. So it was kind of a great deal for me. And being back with these kids, and no matter we win or lose, you're still with these kids, and you're making, you know, hopefully making their lives a little bit more successful. And that's all. That's the only reason why we're in this deal.
He says he doesn't like the media, but 4 excellent answers. But Stephen Robicheaux, this one is by far the most important. Hypothetical question number 5. What if you could pick anything on the menu here at the Sports Pub and Grill? What would that be?
Well, I resemble this question. Well, I get it. You know, you got to come for the steak. The steak night is one of the best.
Absolutely.
You know, so you got to come
Nicole,
for the steak.
come on in. We got a steak for Coach. Got the baked potato. Outstanding, Nicole.
And you know the greatest thing about it? I knew the answer right away. So you know I come to the Sports Pub quite often. So so it works out pretty good. So just you know, you can't go wrong with the steak night here at the pub.
You know what that deserves? That deserves a high five. All right. I appreciate it. We're going to let Coach Robicheaux get down on the ribeye and the loaded baked potato. We're going to bring George Becknell up here, senior writer for RiverParishFootball.com. He's going to look ahead at this week's playoff games as this week in River Parish football rolls on after we take a look at the Fatties Player of the Week. We're back after this.
It's time now for our candidates for the Fatties Player of the Week. West St. John running back Jeremy Jackson had a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage in the Rams' playoff win, finished with 134 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Hahnville quarterback Easton Melanson, 324 yards passing and 2 touchdowns in the Tigers' comeback win over St. Paul's. Riverside running back Jonquil Sanders, the guy's been unbelievable. 3 more touchdowns rushing and 110 yards on the ground to go along with 66 yards receiving and a touchdown in the air as well. Riverside freshman quarterback Deuce Wallace uncorked 4 touchdowns in his prep playoff debut. He also threw for 244 yards on 14 of 19 passing. And St. Charles quarterback / running back Austin Weber had a touchdown on the ground and passed for 2 more as well in the Comets' amazing 27-26 win over Westlake. This week's River Parish Fatties Player of the Week after this. Fatties Main Street Grill and Sports Bar in LaPlace. You gotta check it out. Come to Fatties on Main Street in LaPlace for these daily specials.
I'm Austin Weber, quarterback and running back from St. Charles Catholic, and I'm the Fatties Player of the Week.
Austin Weber loves to play running back, but this year it's been quarterback where the Comets have needed him most. He was never more needed than Friday night's playoff win against Westlake. Trailing 26-7, Weber sparked the comeback. He threw for 2 touchdowns, ran for another one. In all, he led St. Charles with 72 yards rushing, and passing was 9 of 13 for 108 yards.
I mean, we were worried a little bit, but we knew if we started playing as a team, we could come back. I mean, it was great. Whenever you come back from a deficit like that, it means a lot, so it was a good feeling.
He's just an excellent athlete, and you look at him and say, my God, he's not really big. Physically, he doesn't look like an imposing player, but he gets the job done, and he's done a nice job for us as far as the quarterback is concerned.
I mean, I'd rather play running back, but if coach needs me to play quarterback, I'm gonna play quarterback. I mean, it's been fun because if nobody's open, I can run the ball, so that's an advantage I have. that a lot of other quarterbacks don't.
Congratulations to St. Charles Catholic sophomore Austin Weber, our Fatties Player of the Week.
Hurricane Isaac and the flooding in St. John and St. James parishes may have knocked us down, but we're picking ourselves back up and rebuilding. At RTC, we repaired our network, restored services, and issued credits for service interruptions. We will repair the connections in your home, replace damaged equipment, and if you're living in a travel trailer, we will connect service there at no additional charge. That's how we treat our friends and neighbors at RTC. We're Reserve Telecommunications. We're not going anywhere. This is our home.
It's playoff time in football all over Louisiana, and Brock's Automotive has got the spirit. Stop by our shop in Reserve for these playoff specials. An oil change with a 9-point inspection for $29.95. Rotate and balance most tires for $24.95. Radiator and heater flush, plus coolant for $49.95. Brock's Automotive with 24-hour towing service. From one generation to the next.
At myhealthinsurancelady.com, we offer online quotes for Blue Cross, Humana, and Coventry, just to name a few.
That's my health insurance lady.
We offer you expert advice on choosing a plan that's right for you and your family.
That's my health insurance lady.
So go to myhealthinsurancelady.com for your health insurance needs.
That's my health insurance lady.
myhealthinsurancelady.com.
You know, I think it's gonna be a great challenge. You know, the only thing I would say is that, you know, you got two good teams that are gonna play Friday night to earn a ticket to the next round that could possibly beat a lot of the teams left in 1A.
Welcome back to This Week in River Parish Football. Robert Valdez, West St. John head coach, brings us back from break. The guy next to me is not only the senior writer for riverparishfootball.com, he is an author of the history of football at St. James, his alma mater, Lutcher, and even E.D. White. Ladies and gentlemen, George Becknell. George, first of all, not only welcome to the show, but coaching change already in River Parish football. You were all over the story last week. Tell us about James Bell's situation after an 0-19 run.
Well, the school system has decided that they're going to make a change. His contract runs through through about June, and so he's going to be reassigned. And already they're starting the process of receiving applications, and it'll probably be closed at right after the state championship games, and they're hoping maybe about a month after that to maybe name the new football coach at St. James.
Let's take a look at week 2. We have 4 River Parish teams still remaining, and all 4 are home. Let's start in 5A. Hahnville, a 23 seed, taking on 7 seed Parkview.
Parkview, a very good football team, 1 loss, and that was to Airline, which knocked out East St. John. It's a very good football teams in North Louisiana. Once again, Hahnville just seems to do what they have to do, fall behind, they come back. If they've been running the ball the last half dozen games that have put them in a position to make the playoffs, and they sort of stopped the run on them a little bit, and they had to go to the pass, and Easton Malonzo, the quarterback, came through and helped them rally for the win.
In 3A, 6 straight wins already for Hahnville coming into this game, 8 straight wins for St. Charles. The Comets have their hands full, a home game after a remarkable comeback. Frank Monikin's squad, they got to get ready for Crowley, Notre Dame. What a matchup. They're the number 2 seed in the state, George.
Last week's game against Westlake looked like maybe more of a quarterfinal game than the first round game, and here you are in the second round, and this is a state championship caliber game. Like you said, the number 2 team in the state, the defending state champion. You have 2 teams where you have veteran coaches that have won state titles, multiple state titles at different schools. Both have had stints in college as assistants, so it won't be one of these one coach can sort of outcoach the other one. I don't think it's going to really come down to the execution of the players on the field.
Let's go ahead and hear what Frank Monica has to say about this matchup.
The feeling around here, there's a feeling of excitement. We feel like we got a mulligan after last week's game and whatnot. I don't know if we're on borrowed time or not, but I think the most important thing for us is that we have to understand the quality opponent that we're playing this week. We're playing one of the best football teams in the state of any classification, and it's going to be hard for us to hold up on both sides of football, but the way our guys have played in the last couple of weeks, I don't discount anything.
George, let's go to 2A now. Riverside, I said they squeaked into the playoffs at 4-5, but they didn't squeak past Homer. An emphatic win last week, the number 8 seed. This week, the number 9 seed in Episcopal.
It's a case of, like we said, we didn't know if they were going to get in. We figured they had the power points to get in. The record might not have looked too impressive, but over the last half of the season, they've really come on. And I sort of figured in that first playoff game that, you know, they could score some points. They've obviously been doing that, but to win at the you know, the margin by which they won was you know, quite surprising. And, you know, they've got a bunch of good young kids that are just getting better and better, and a win here, and then they end up facing John Curtis. It seems like it always happens between those two schools.
In 1A, West St. John, of course, trying to make it back to the Dome, they got to go through their rivals. Imagine that, White Castle.
Playing at White Castle for the second time this year. They beat them earlier in the year, basically for the district championship, and it's the 5th time in the last 3 years these two teams have played. So they know each other quite well. There won't be any surprises. You know, White Castle runs a wing tee offense, so it's not like they can come out and really do anything much different than they did before. Maybe a couple of defensive tweaks.
George Becknell, everybody, does a great job with riverparishfootball.com with the previews and the game stories. George, as always, pleasure.
Enjoy it, as always.
This week in River Parish football wraps up after this. We take a break, and when we come back, we're going to work the room a little bit, and no one's safe. We're back after this.
It's a whole lot better for planned service than it is for demand service.
That's why at Cajun Comfort Electrical Air Conditioning and Heating, we've developed a unique umbrella for our customers known simply as
Comfort Club.
For AC units, it's the
ESA.
Energy Savings Agreement.
You get 2 cleanings a year. Also with that, you get a 15% discount on any repairs you may need, and you get priority service, which to me is the most important thing.
Comfort Club.
which also includes
EPP.
Electrical Protection Plan.
We go through your panel and check all your breakers, check everything, make sure everything looks good. That way you don't have to worry about any kind of electrical fire in your home.
Comfort Club.
And for your generators,
GMP.
Generator Maintenance Program.
We go through, we change the oil, we change filters. When a storm comes, your generator's up and ready to kick on for you.
We're what satisfaction is supposed to feel like, and we guarantee that satisfaction 100%.
Now's the time to call Cajun Comfort Electrical Air Conditioning and Heating and just ask for
Comfort Club. At myhealthinsurancelady.com, we offer online quotes for Blue Cross, Humana, and Coventry, just to name a few.
That's My Health Insurance Lady.
We offer you expert advice on choosing a plan that's right for you and your family.
That's My Health Insurance Lady.
So go to myhealthinsurancelady.com for your health insurance needs.
That's My Health Insurance Lady.
myhealthinsurancelady.com. Welcome back to the Sports Pub and Grill here in Destrehan, right off the airline in Ormond. They got the great specials. Always a great crowd out here as well. We found a whole table full of Coach Robichaux's alumni and former classmates. Did you go to school with Stephen Robicheaux?
Yes, I surely did.
What was he like in high school?
He was awesome. He was a great guy.
Nice purple shirt. I like the decor.
I like it. I like it.
They were asking, where were you guys last week?
Oh, we took a little vacation to the beach.
How was it?
It was nice and relaxing.
Now you're looking at one of my favorite things at the Sports Pub is the daiquiris. Don't forget about those. The White Russians are excellent. Come on over here and let's get the light on Frank over here. Frank Catalano, the owner here at the Sports Pub and Grill. Frank, thanks for having us. We used to do some radio back here in the day, didn't we?
Yep. What was that, 4 or 5 years ago, right?
It was about 4 years ago,
4 years
absolutely.
ago.
We have River Parish coaches in. Tell us a little bit about the Sports Pub and Grill, what you want people to know about it.
Well, we've been established since '03. Been here 9 years. We specialize in 10-ounce burgers. Also, we got everyday specials, plate lunches, Monday through Friday. We got daiquiris, we got huge po' boys, and we got all the games every Sunday, NFL ticket every Sunday, and we got all your favorite college games too on Saturday also. And then also, we open 7 days a week, and it's a family-oriented restaurant. There's no smoking in here. You can bring kids and have a great time and watch your favorite sporting event.
And guess what? We're going to finish up right where we started. We found Coach Robicheaux. How was that steak, first of all?
Look at it. Clarence Dupape, running backs coach, and also I'm at the athletic director. Easy for you to say.
Lori Lyons. Look at Lori Lyons over there. Marty Lyons. And his son. Coach, what's going on?
How you doing? I'm Daniel Luquette, son of Marty Luquette. I coach quarterbacks and also assistant baseball.
Donovan Isom this year put up some great numbers, really matured on the field and really got the experience. Just a junior, he's back for more.
It's exciting. He's a great kid, great leader, works hard, does everything you ask, and then some. He's real good for the young guys coming up because he's going to show them how to work. And you know, Coach Robe talked about the program. You know, he's what makes our program what it is, and he's going to be a real good asset coming into his senior year.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for being here. And this is another good friend of ours. You might see him at Zephyr games when it's time to park, pay the $5. You know what? Danny, I always try to pay my $5.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you, man. What's going on?
Not much. Just hanging out with all my coach friends and enjoying the night.
Here's my partner from the broadcast booth this past week. Wayne Santillis here. He's not the running backs coach. He is wide receivers coach. And you got some quality wide receivers, my friend.
Yes, we do. We got 2 returning coming back next year, Alfred Smith and Mike Smith. We're really excited. They're going to be a lot of leadership showing for our kids. So a lot of young ones coming up, and they'll show them how to work.
Coach Robicheaux, we want to give you this as a token of our appreciation for being on the show. It's one of those fancy riverparishfootball.com shirts like we're wearing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Eric.
So there you go. This week in River Parish football from the Sports Pub and Grill in Destrehan. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck to all our River Parish football teams this week in the playoffs. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.